One of Hayley and I's favorite things to do in Denver is to go to the Denver Botanic Gardens. It's the perfect time of year to take a stroll around with us in here. Springtime has just hit and everything pretty much is in full bloom. There's also a whole new section to the Botanic Gardens, which is a Chinese-inspired garden. The tulips are looking beautiful, and so is just about everything else in here, including Hayley. So come on a stroll with us as we walk through the Botanic Gardens in Denver. Go the Botanical Gardens.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens. We're going in. Yeah. There's one. Walk in here and you see all these trees in full bloom. We're going to take a tour through this whole place. We're not going to miss a single garden in here because everything is worth being explored. It's a little bit early in spring, so a lot of the trees are flowering, but some of the gardens aren't at full maturation. There's some new stuff which we've never seen at the Botanic Gardens as well. One thing that I'll note is the Botanic Gardens does have a great membership platform. We do a lot of different events here throughout the year. We pretty much find ourselves here at least once every 4 seasons. You gotta come for summer, you gotta come for spring. They do music in the park as well. Then they do some fun holiday events. We did another video on the Halloween glow that they do. They do another thing for Christmas, which is really super cool. So we find ourselves coming here quite a bit throughout the entire year. But the spring is definitely one of the best times. Right as you enter here, you go through the Ponderosa border. There's a lot of gardens here that are pretty native to Colorado. Some of these plants you see while you're out on hikes, which is pretty neat. Bringing them in here for everybody to enjoy right in Denver. The Botanic Gardens is located right by Cheeseman Park, which, in case you didn't know, was a cemetery. So I'm guessing some of the Botanic Gardens was also a cemetery, therefore some really fertile ground. Okay. My jokes aren't hitting the best. This is one of the buildings that we did not go into, just because we've been in it so many times before, and it doesn't really have many plants in it. It's more of a scientific exhibit. There's some really cool stuff in there, especially if you're bringing kiddos to the Botanic Gardens. some cool experiments, some interactive exhibits, just not as many plants, and well, we're here to enjoy the nice, beautiful 65-degree and sunny with a little bit of clouds in the sky. So we didn't make it in this building, but wanted to say what it was. Yeah. Yeah. Good thinking. Oh, there's something going on in there. Oh, I think maybe an event. It looks like it's tea time. Also, if you're thinking about throwing a party, there's several spots in the Botanic Gardens that you can rent out. There was a couple going on here. This looked like a little girl's birthday party, doing some tea time in that little greenhouse back there, one of the OG greenhouses from way back in time. It's a cool little building. We obviously didn't get to go in there because of the birthday party. Also, corporate events are thrown here. There's a whole pavilion for those. So if you're thinking about getting out there, getting a really cool little venue for a shower, birthday party, wedding, etc., the Botanic Gardens is one of those places that is super duper neat. So this area had been under construction for a little bit of time. Look at Hayley just weeb on through people. You've seen our video in Universal Studios, you know she's really good little traffic girl here, getting through people. But this garden is inspired after a traditional Chinese garden. And I thought this really reminded me of a Tibetan prayer wheel here. All these traditional structures and some really cool little gate areas that are semicircles, running water everywhere. The plants were still pretty immature in here, but man, was this neat. Wow. So many little details like the stonework on this path. The Botanic Gardens once again did a great job here. As someone who loves Botanic Gardens across the country, even to quite a few of them, Denver's isn't the biggest Botanic Gardens, which is why we got through it here in a 50-minute video, but it is really, really nice. All the exhibits here are well maintained, really neat, and transport you into different areas across the country. Neat idea here, not only showcasing flowers in the traditional Chinese garden, but also stones. This one from a volcanic rock was thousands and thousands of years old, obviously. It's a stone, right? But I think it's really neat to draw a focal point to something that isn't necessarily a plant, but all of the natural world, which I think this Chinese garden did really, really well. You'll see that there's a lot of cool plants, but there's also a lot of very neat textures. As we wrap around here, you're going to see some more of that. Here's what I was talking about with texture going on. These walls just begged you to come and touch it, just like Hayley did. And we were wondering, was it set up for birds to want to nest there? Is it just an interactive exhibit? We weren't really quite sure, but if I was a bird, I would live there. Let me tell you that right now. Let me nudge him to see what he wants to do. Listen to Hayley's reactions as we go through this area. All of this is lilac, and whoa, was it fragrant. I wish we could capture the smell and bring it to you. Wow, it is fragrant in here, for sure. What are these plants? They are lilacs.
That's why they smell so good.
They're so great smelling.
It is so strong.
I'll go through this. A lilac garden.
And they're gonna have big blooms.
I'd love to have a lilac garden like this. And bees. I really want bees. We'll do it again. Yeah. Had to get some close-up shots too, so you could really marvel at what we were marveling at. As it was spring, it was one of the best time for tulips. All of these in full bloom here. Maybe a little bit past their maturation, but it was actually really neat to see how the tulips were opening up, and how many bees were pollinating them. This is very, very pretty.
It's okay, I forgive you. Love that water feature. It's like so clear. See through it.
The Botanic Gardens also has a lot of water exhibits running throughout, which are super duper pretty. This reflecting pool is around the tulip exhibit here. And then there's a lot of other ones that you're going to see around as well. The Japanese garden, as well as the main center of the park by the cafe that we eat at as well. One of my favorite exhibits right before you go into the Japanese garden section of the Botanic Gardens is the bonsai tree section. And they're not just classic bonsais either. What's really neat about this section of the park is they've taken some classic Colorado trees and made them into bonsais, and some trees from around the world like a bonsai redwood, a bonsai aspen, and so many more. Take a look at these with us. bet a lot of them are in the greenhouse over here right now, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh. Look at that. What's this one? Oh, it's a red rose. I thought you could get a redwood with that. Just be a little fella. Oh, lilac. Good.
I love aspens. Ponderosa pine.
These ones that have the magenta flowers on them. Yeah, they're everywhere on the walkway that we didn't take. Yeah. So neat. Hanging line. These are really good. I don't see many bees on the outskirts, so I thought I'd do. Get me in the door here. One of my favorite sections of the park here, the Japanese garden. All right, we're getting a little cute with it. I love this section of the park. I love how in Japanese gardens the walk is not straight but curved. I think that's so reminiscent of life. It's never a straight line how you get to anything. It's generally a lot of curves and ups and downs along the way. But it's really meant to transport you into nature and to not be so focused on your destination, in my opinion. This little tea house section I had never actually been to. We get back here, get a little bottlenecked up, and then we're gonna go look at the reflecting pool, which had some beautiful trees, some koi fish, etc. The only thing this Japanese garden doesn't have is cherry blossom trees. Maybe they just don't grow the best here in the high altitude. Yeah, okay. At least I got people going through it though. Cheese and butter. What day does it open? Next week, guys? Yeah. Open, yeah. One of my favorite sections of the park here is this area with the reflecting pool. And oh my gosh, the flowers on this tree here are absolutely stunning. I look a little closer in the water here so I can show you the fish, which Hayley excitedly points out. Are they? Which ones? Oh. Neither one of them got catfished. On that side of the fence is Cheeseman Park. They're having a little party over there. It's quite a happening park. It's a beautiful park, actually, once you get past the fact that it was once a cemetery. There's a little creepy story about Cheeseman Park as well, which we'll do a video on, but late 1800s, early 1900s, Denver's really expanding, and they decide, let's expand the city to the east side here. This is one of Denver's original cemeteries over there. So they contract someone to get rid of the bodies, and he was charging by the body. He got a little greedy, maybe didn't think he was getting paid enough, so he started to hack the bodies apart so that way he could, charge for two bodies, even if it was one body. The city of Denver caught on to this, and, well, they canceled the job and didn't find a new contractor. So, yeah, Cheeseman Park was a cemetery, and it still is a cemetery as well. Had to get a close-up of the bees doing their hard work, making the Botanic Gardens beautiful by pollinating. Having a good time. Right underneath one of our favorite trees here. We loved those. Whichever way you want to go, honey. Cliff is passing. Now we walk around and we're more in the high Alpine Garden. This garden is inspired based off of what you would see in the Rocky Mountains, up a little higher. And right here we're about a mile above sea level. A lot of this stuff I see in the subalpine region, more like 2 miles above sea level. So if you're not in the mood to hike a 14er and see some of this stuff in nature, this is a really good spot to get an idea of the flora that is in Colorado when you get up a little bit higher. Like all these purple flowers, which are part of the columbine varieties, are a great example here.
Yeah, I mean,
and this is all manicured really nicely. There's also a really cool succulent garden on this side that we're going to go in as well as all this running water, almost like you're on a hike in the mountains. If you want to get out of the cooler air, hop on into one of these places and you'll be transported into the tropics. Here a little less humidity than what we're going to see in the rainforest section inside. But there were some really mature succulents in here, and some really cool ideas on how they make succulent gardens in rocks as well. Not every museum has good food, but the Botanic Gardens does. This Hive Cafe I eat at almost every single time that I come here. There's some really good local food, burgers, sandwiches, salads, desserts, etc. They also have a full coffee menu and a really interesting drink menu as well. You gotta check it out when you're here.
I want to try that.
You definitely can. Look how cute you are. So we kind of looped around a little bit, but this is the main drag that you would walk through as you walk in. We're gonna go through this, and then we're gonna loop into the section which is themed after a rainforest, that really cool looking greenhouse made out of those different triangle shapes. Here we are. in with us to the Betcher Memorial Tropical Gardens, and we lived through here really fast. It is hot and humid, and we're not used to it. We are getting ready to go on a trip to Hawaii, so this was a good chance for us to experience what some humid weather's like. If you're not from Colorado, there's hardly any humidity here, so when you go into humidity, it's a little bit harder for us, you know? I guess one thing we've got going is we're in elevation, but, difficult when you're in this humidity and you're not used to it. You're really transported into the tropics here. A lot of these are fruiting trees. A little bit early for them to be fruiting this time of year, but if you go later in the year, you'll see that happening. The Botanic Gardens dedicates some area to herbs and also food. And this is the area. A little bit premature this time of year. I mean, it just snowed like last week, guys, so some of this stuff isn't really going yet, but generally there's a lot of herbs in there. Last section we walk through is generally a rose garden. A little bit early for those rose bushes to get going, but some cool sculpture art, as well as the OG house that the Botanic Garden is formed around. This neighborhood around Cheeseman Park is amazing. There's all these really big mansions around this area that are beautiful architectural wonders of Denver, some of the prettiest homes, in my opinion, in all the Denver area. Thank you so much for coming on a walk with us in the Denver Botanic Gardens. We hope you can come and enjoy Denver sometime soon.
Bye.